joining a running club. I saw this stereotype and it put me off. I considered a career in construction. I saw this stereotype and it put me off. I thought about politics. I saw this stereotype. Oh. And it put me off. Stereotypes are powerful, but they're not irrefutable. My perception of running clubs changed when I saw this. Park Run has made running accessible because they genuinely welcome everyone. My name's Sarah. My pronouns are she and her. I don't wear a lab coat. I'm not a genius. But I do have a rewarding, successful career in STEM: science, technology, engineering, and maths. Whether it's nurses, CEOs, firefighters, or boffins in lab coats, occupational stereotypes are a barrier to diversity and the high performance that it can bring. They limit the talent pool in industries and professions in desperate need. In the UK, the STEM skills shortages cost businesses £1.5 billion a year. The Institute of Engineering and Technology estimated the shortfall in STEM workers to be over 173,000. That's quite a lot of jobs. This is a big issue for business, for society, and for the economy. As a technical manager, I'm in a minority in my profession. Women are underrepresented in STEM. According to the WISE campaign, women make up just 24% of the STEM workforce, 15% of managers, and just over 10% of engineers. That's a problem. That's a problem not just because we have that massive STEM skills gap that we need people to fill, but also because we're missing out on ideas. I passionately believe, and I see in my work, that creative ideas can come from anyone, anywhere, regardless of race, age, gender identity, sexuality, diverse abilities, or background. Research has shown that more diverse teams make better decisions, they're more innovative, and they're more productive. But this isn't just a business imperative. It's actually imperative for humanity. If we're going to solve the world's most pressing, difficult challenges, then we need all the ideas and innovation that we can get. And if we're going to solve them for the many, not just the few, then we need everybody to be represented. The general public seems to agree. My employer, 3M, has spent the past 5 years tracking the public's perception of science through a global independent survey called the State of Science Index. Now, this found that over 90% of people believe that the world needs more people pursuing STEM-related careers. However, there's a problem. The same research found that over a third of people globally and a quarter of Britons don't believe that their lives would be that different if science didn't exist. Even against the backdrop of the pandemic, where the vaccination program has made it possible to hold this event in person today, people find it really hard to relate STEM to everyday life. Now, children are most familiar with the jobs that they see around them. Parents and teachers have a big influence on career aspirations. So if some of them find it hard to relate to STEM, what chance do the children have? Coupled with unhelpful stereotypes, it's hardly surprising that some people just don't see STEM as something that they can be part of. The good news is that everybody can help to shine a light on STEM subjects. And I'm going to share with you today 3 ways to do that: stories, stars, and streetlights. Science and engineering need some good PR. But you don't have to be a scientist to tell stories that bring science to life. When I was at school, I did not enjoy STEM subjects, until one day, a teacher told us that she used to work for a fruit cordial company, and they used chemistry to keep the taste of the drink consistent despite changes in the fruit harvest. That blew my mind. I suddenly saw the point of science. I saw that if you apply science, you can use it to make life better and to help people. That simple story changed my perception of STEM. My son has got this Sonic the Hedgehog onesie. Okay, it's turquoise and it's fluffy, and he runs around the house in it. I like to imagine that he's collecting those gold rings, like in the game. Imagine if every time he encountered STEM in everyday life, he got a gold token. Wake up in the morning, turn off the alarm clock, dring! Turn on the light, dring! Drink a glass of water, dring! Brush your teeth, dring! Watch a video, dring! You get the idea, right? Science, technology, engineering, and maths are all around us. We just don't notice them. The next time you bake a cake, think about why it rises. Okay, in my kitchen, it doesn't always rise, but that is still science. Think about how chocolate melts with heat. That's physics. Think about how the flour was milled or the mixer was designed. That's engineering. You don't have to know the answers in order to encourage the questions and tell stories that bring STEM subjects to life and make them more relatable. Research by Microsoft found that girls' interest in STEM almost doubled when they had role models to aspire to. The problem for any underrepresented group is that they're probably not going to see role models who are exactly like them, have followed exactly the same path. So my vision is that they have a sky full of stars to aspire to. Now, these stars are brilliant. They are at the top of their game. They are visible and inspirational and mind-blowing. They're smashing stereotypes. They are breaking glass ceilings. They're in the media. They're in books. Some have TED Talks. Please allow me to share with you some women in STEM who I consider to be stars. Maggie Adair-Pocock, Hannah Fry, Mae Jemison, Alice Roberts, Sheryl Sandberg, Sunita Gupta, Sarah Gilbert. The trouble is, when I was preparing for this talk, somebody scribbled on the draft of the script, "Who are these folks?" ? And that's when I realized that despite their achievements, one of them was the first African-American woman in space. You can probably tell which one. Despite that, they're not household names. To find really famous women in STEM, you have to look to pioneers of the past. Ada Lovelace, Rosalind Franklin, Marie Skłodowska-Curie. I guess that kind of makes my point. We need more diverse role models, and we need to share their stories more widely. The stars shine brightly, but they're far away. To light the path, we also need people closer to home. And that's where the streetlights come in. The streetlights are the friends, the family, the managers, the mentors, the co-workers, the volunteers, the teachers. They may not be winning awards. They may not be in the media, but they are authentic and accessible. They may be a bit less brilliant than the stars, but they're no less inspirational and important. If we only ever look up to the stars, then those myths, like you need to be a genius to have a STEM career, will be perpetuated. The streetlights share their mistakes and their challenges as well as their successes. They hold our hands and they help us to take the next small step. Parents, you can be streetlights. You can help your children notice STEM in the world around them. You can bring a bit of magic to the mundane. You don't need to worry about baby coding classes or expensive STEM toys, or not knowing the answer yourself. You just need to encourage the questions and tell stories that bring STEM to life. And if you're a teacher, with trends in education like personalization and industry collaboration, there really is no better time to tell the stories of diverse role models and showcase the huge variety of STEM jobs. STEM can be a different way to follow a passion in sports or fashion or music through STEM jobs like shoe designer or performance researcher or sound engineer. And if you're working in STEM, share your story, share your challenges, be an authentic role model. And above all, don't be afraid to be different, because it's diversity that drives innovation. When I was 13, I had my heart set on being a ballet dancer. I trained every day, and it was dancing that taught me resilience and discipline and nurtured my creativity, all things that have proved pretty useful in a STEM career. Everybody said I was a natural dancer. No one ever said I was a natural scientist. It was only when my feet decided that I was not going to be a dancer that I had to find a different path, and I chose science and maths to prove I could do something different, not because I saw a career in it, at least not for me. Luckily, I had an inspirational teacher with a good story and supportive parents, and I went on to study chemistry at university. But even there, I encountered that brilliant boffin myth again. I believed that I needed a PhD to make it in science. Thankfully, in the foyer, there was a poster. And the poster had on it a picture of a person who looked a bit like me, but in a polo suit with a penguin. And the poster read, "Not all chemists wear white coats." That poster was enough for me, but many people don't get to see posters like that. So that's why STEM needs everyone to tell stories that make it relatable to everyday life, to look up to the stars, but even more importantly, to light the way with streetlights. Thank you.